Recently, I was talking with a business owner who told me social media wasn't working for them. And the thing is, they weren't wrong to be frustrated. They were posting consistently, showing up, putting in real effort. So I asked them one question: what do you do after you post? There was a long pause. In that pause, I found the missing piece that I think holds back a lot of business owners. Today, I want to show you what that piece is and why fixing it might matter more than anything you're posting. It's showtime. Let's get started. Creating consistent, engaging social media content shouldn't feel like rocket science. I've helped thousands of entrepreneurs go from "I don't know what to post" to "I've got this," using simple, easy to implement steps that make a big difference. I'm Maggie Carey, and welcome to the Painless Posting podcast. Here's what I've noticed when I talk to business owners who are frustrated with their results on social media. The content itself usually isn't the problem. It may not be perfect, but that's rarely what's holding them back. What I almost always discover is that all of their energy is going into creating content, coming up with ideas, writing, designing, filming, publishing, and almost none of it is going into what happens next. And I get why that happens. By the time you've done all of that work and hit publish, it genuinely feels like you've accomplished something, because you really have. But publishing and getting results are two completely different things. Think about the last networking event you attended. Imagine you have a great conversation with someone, you exchange cards, and then the moment you get home, you forget they even existed. No follow-up, no email, no connection request. Most of us would immediately recognize that as a missed opportunity. But that's exactly what's happening on social media every single day. Someone comments on a post, someone sends a message, someone engages with something that you've shared, and instead of seeing that as the beginning of a relationship, we treat it as an end of a task. The comment came in, great, on to tomorrow's post. This is where things get interesting. A few years ago, I started paying close attention to the people who were getting the best results from social media. And I'm not talking about the biggest followings. I mean the people building real relationships, generating referrals, getting invited to speak, creating actual opportunities. What sets them apart wasn't their content. It was how they showed up after the content was published. They stayed in conversations. They responded thoughtfully. They remembered details and followed up. In other words, they were being social on social media, which sounds obvious until you realize how rare it actually is. Here's what most people miss. Content doesn't create business. Content creates opportunity for conversations. The conversations create relationships, and relationships are what actually create business. That distinction matters, because if you believe content alone is the answer, then the solution is always more content, more posts, more platforms, more output. But if you understand that relationships are the engine, your focus shifts entirely. Now you're paying attention to who's showing up repeatedly. Now you're looking at ways to continue a conversation instead of just closing a loop. And that brings me to follow-up, which gets a bad reputation because immediately people think of pushy sales calls and awkward check-ins. That is not what I'm talking about. I am talking about being genuinely interested in people, reaching out to someone who attended your workshop, or asking a thoughtful question, not to pitch them, just to continue the conversation. I've seen partnerships start that way, speaking engagements, long-term clients, not because of a single post, but because someone took one more step after the post. So, if you're listening today and you're frustrated with your social media results, here's what I'd encourage you to try this week. Instead of putting all your energy into what you're going to publish next, pay attention to the people already paying attention to you. Notice who's commenting, who keeps showing up, who's reaching out. Start there, because the missing piece in most social media strategies isn't better content. It's recognizing that the post isn't the finish line. It's the invitation. What happens next is where the real opportunity begins. So, what I'd like you to do is pick a platform: LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. Go check to see who's liked your post, who's commented on your post. Then go to their social media platform. Maybe say something on one of their posts. Comment, engage, have a conversation, support their social media as well, if you can. And if you really want to take it a step further, go into the DMs. Comment in there. Say, hey, I saw your post, or hey, you commented on my post, and I was wondering, did you have any other questions? Or I thought what you said was really insightful. Do you see how this is just a natural conversation? Ask questions. When you ask a question, the natural tendency for the person you're asking is to answer that question. And of course, we never make it salesy or pitchy, because that doesn't work and it's a sure way to lose a follower. So try those few ideas and let me know how it works out for you. Now, if you want help figuring out what to say in your social media posts to hopefully engage that person to comment or like one of your posts, check out the H.E.L.P Caption Creator. You can go to helpcaptioncreator.com, and there you can find an AI tool that can help you write engaging social media content that will help start your conversation. Well, that's our episode for today. If you found it helpful, be sure to subscribe and leave us a review, and share it with another business owner who you think might find this helpful too. So until next time, keep your posting painless and your engagement powerful.